Do you like my trade?
The one oh, did you just do one in the D League?
Yeah,
Let's see. Michael
it's
Wilson.
not that good.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you got a second and Brashard
Yeah,
Smith. I like that.
I don't,
Oh,
but
okay.
I I like Randy, so I was like, all right, for Randy,
Fair
I'll do
enough.
this one solid for you.
I took a lease out on your heart. I took a lease out on your heart. Can I at least have fun? Can I at least have fun? Can I at least have fun?
Welcome back, everybody. We are Rough Draft Research. You are the audience, and together we are on a quest for Dynasty Domination. How's it going over there, Daniel?
Oh, me just getting dominated in Dynasty. I think that's the goal. Getting to the nitty gritty. Doing decent. Pretty exciting. Pretty excited. Pretty exciting. I'm going to the Chiefs game again.
Oh, hell yeah. That's
My
fun.
new thing. Sunday night in Houston. So
Oh, you're
first
going to
Houston.
Houston? Oh,
Now it's at
gotcha.
Arrowhead.
Oh, that's
Yeah, or
cool.
the Kansas City Stadium, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I'm pumped about that. It's gonna be cold, but yeah, it was a value, so I'm into it. I just thought
Good.
I'd tell you as part of
No,
the
yeah,
intro.
that's awesome. Hell
How are you
yeah.
doing, Christian?
I'm doing good. I'm in four dynasty leagues and I'm fighting for the one seed in three of them this week.
Whoa.
That's pretty cool. And then I'm fighting for a playoff spot in the other. So I'm feeling pretty good. It's been a great year overall for fantasy and I hope it continues. And on that note, we're gonna do something we haven't done before. You've heard us talk, if you've listened to this podcast, about our For the Belt League quite a bit. It's our oldest dynasty league. We started it in 2018 at a bar called Henry's in Lawrence, Kansas.
Hey,
Did the draft that day, was a great day, and we've been chugging along ever since. Some people have left, some people have come in, but the main core is still around. And we wanted to talk about it today with the playoffs in 5 days because I don't think we've ever seen something like this before. We are 5 days away from the playoffs, and only three of 12 people have been eliminated. And basically, two through nine is up for grabs. Now, two is a little solidified. There's some shenanigans that could happen, but technically, all those spots aren't settled because we have five teams that are 7-6 and three that are 6-7. So we were thought it would be fun to just dive into these matchups, kind of give our opinions about them, and see how we think this league is going to shake out.
oh, I'm so excited, man. I'm so excited. Sorry. We are both on the bubble, I think.
Yeah, we
We're
are.
we're tight on the list. Yeah, the three through nine.
Mm.
Where we're all within 50 points on the points for. Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's spicy,
it's
delicious.
pretty wild. Yeah, we're very close. I'm sitting at 7-6 in the five seed now, and you're at 6-7. Just look
Hmm.
on the outside looking in at the seven seed, but yeah, it should be pretty wild. There should be some tiebreakers to get into, but where do you want to start?
I mean, honestly, we can just go through and see. I like the idea of like seeing what could happen to knock people out and then going down the list
Okay,
to see what could happen to get people in. Huh?
gotcha. Okay.
You tuned up for that?
Sure. If you want to take the lead for me, I'll kind of rock it off you. And
Okay,
apologies if we look at our phone.
your
Sleeper
phone, I
is an
forgot.
incredible app,
So
but
good.
their website could use some work, to say the least. So there's going to be a lot of us looking down at our phones today for the video listeners. So apologies up front. But yeah, you want to take us away?
Yeah, yeah. I'll just be staring at my phone like I'm at a workplace meeting. You know what I mean?
Fair
But
enough.
so yeah, all right. Number one is pretty much locked in. We'll talk
Hmm.
about him here in a little bit when we talk about his matchup for this week.
Yeah.
But the number two spot, as you mentioned, is pretty locked in, and that's Danny. He's playing against LM 29, old Lancey Lance.
Mm,
And so this is one of the five, 7 and 6 teams, is Danny. And his advantage in this situation is that someone would have to outscore him by 100 points.
mm.
Because he's got such a large advantage on the points for. And in addition to that, Lance would have to step up and defeat him. And it's looking, I mean, it's looking possible. Do we want to
Yeah.
look at this matchup right here?
Yeah, we can. So we are recording after the Thursday game, which is not normal for us. So we already
Right.
saw Jahmyr Gibbs have 3 touchdowns, give Lance 37 points, while George Pickens had a quiet night and a fumble, and Jameson Williams had a pretty decent game for Danny on the other side. But they are now swapped in projection. Danny went into this projected to win, but Lance, with that big Gibbs game, is now projected to beat him. And I think he has a decent shot, especially
Yeah.
with Jonathan Taylor on Danny's squad. Like he's been a huge question mark lately, just because the Colts offense seems to have fallen apart, and they have a pretty tough matchup with Jacksonville coming up.
Yeah, it is kind of like a versatile or volatile situation for
Hmm.
him. He's got Taylor's cooling off, and then he's got Higgins coming back off an injury. So it's kind of a they're better names on his side,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of like weird potential. Like Brissett's been playing lights out, and Lance has him
Hmm.
starting. And then you never know which running back for the Bears is going to show out. So if Swift has a good day and Myers can keep things rolling. I don't know, man. I never bet against Cortland Sutton, so I think Lance has a chance to win here, but it doesn't hurt Danny. It just gives Lance a mild chance to make the playoffs because he's sitting in the number 9 spot right now.
Hmm.
And for him to win and get in, he would have to do some pretty aggressive scoring.
Mm.
He's about 40 points out of the points for to get to like 5th place.
Yeah.
So in addition to winning, he'd have to have a really nice week to kind of vault him up the standings. Because we mentioned we've got 5, 7, and 6 teams. We have 3, 6, and 7 teams,
Hmm.
and that's a 7th, 8th, and 9th place team. So it's kind of a weird situation, but I like Lance's chances. But again, it doesn't hurt Danny's standings really at all. Like I don't see anyone outscoring him by 100 points. We're averaging
Yeah.
like that's like the average weekly scores between 100 and 120 in this league, I'd say.
Yeah.
So for someone to double the weekly average, just
Would
not
be
really
insane. Yeah.
yeah. But it gets a little more interesting when we're looking at the number 3 team.
Hmm.
We've got OK Praxis. It's Randy here. He's up
Randy.
against Ian, and he only has a 20-point buffer over some of those teams that are on the outside looking in.
Uh-huh.
So it would really be beneficial for him to get the win versus Ian. So Ian's the 11th place team, and he's on the outside looking in. But if you look at this matchup, it's kind of a toss up. I don't know how you feel about it. Um,
Well, I think
but
it's kind of a toss-up as well. I mean, Ian obviously needs to replace 2 of his guys. Still hasn't done that yet. Usually waits the last minute, but he does have Brian Thomas Jr. he could throw in there, or do a double tight end situation with like a Mark Andrews in the flex. He also has Adonai Mitchell, who's looking
mhm,
okay for the Jets lately. 24 points last week. Um, but again, it's kind of similar to the last name. Like last game, we talked about Praxis, or Randy has the better names,
mhm.
with Puka and Genty and Josh Jacobs going. All have pretty tough matchups though, with Genty going up against Denver, Jacobs going up against Chicago, and Jacobs really hasn't been that incredible lately. Pretty touchdown dependent. And Chicago's defense has been pretty good in that department. Um, so yeah, I think it's a bit of a toss up. I mean, the projections are off right now, like I said, because Ian's roster's not full, but there could be an outside chance that Randy gets takes an L here, but at the same time, he's kind of sitting not as pretty as Danny, because he's closer in the points for than Danny is, but he's still in the lead in terms of that category, in terms of all the other guys behind him.
Yeah, that's true. He's got just a mild edge over the fourth place team in the points for. It's only a 3 point situation.
Hmm.
Um, but the difference is that that next matchup with Mocap in fourth place, he's going up against the number one team
Yeah.
in the whole shebang. So back to yeah, he was the champion last year, and he's
Hmm.
undisputed regular season champion.
Yep. I already got the
Walking a
one seed locked up. Yep.
yeah, a steady like 270 points for buffer over second place. This is disgusting. I mean, it's
Yeah, it was
sad.
pretty
So
crazy.
we
Yeah.
won't be talking about the number one team anymore, after this matchup. But this is kind of a tight one just
Mm,
because I think so. It would be beneficial for, especially for Randy, and then again for Mocap to just win. Like it
yeah.
feels like they're pretty comfortable right now in the standings. Like you mentioned, they have a buffer over another four teams in the points, and then they've got a game over three of the teams on the outside. But this matchup in particular, I find interesting because Mocap's got the edge after a little bit of a good Montgomery game last night, but
Yeah.
he's got like some explosiveness, and I know you're feeling these matchups, so I'll give you a chance to kind of preview his setup for this week because it's looking pretty tasty.
Yeah, for sure. I think Josh Allen, his quarterback, ha has a really good chance to really go off against Cincinnati after a few less than stellar weeks at least in terms of Josh Allen's standard. And then Derrick Henry, I mean, the Pittsburgh defense hasn't been incredible. Neither has Derrick Henry, to be fair. I do think he could fall into the end zone fairly easily. He's done it the last 3 weeks, twice, 2 weeks ago. And then, like you said, David Montgomery had a good little game falling into the end zone. And then JSN, I mean, outside of last week, has been absolutely incredible. Number one wide receiver in the league, and now he's going up against a injured Atlanta team. My only problem there or worry there is that we could see a similar situation to what the Seahawks did last week by kind of just not taking their opponent very seriously and like kicking field goals on 4th and 1 and not really throwing the ball, just kind of easing into the win. I do think Atlanta is better than a Max Brosmer led Vikings team, but
God, let's hope.
they just leaned. Oh yeah, really. They just rammed those brakes in that game, so that's pretty interesting. And then the rest of his team, like Michael Wilson interesting. He's been good with Jacoby Brissett, and I think Marvin Harrison's out again. Um, but the
Yep.
Rams defense is pretty solid, and I think it'll be mostly in garbage time, so it could be one of those things where he's sweating out the Michael Wilson points leading up to the end of the game. And then
Hmm.
his flex and tight end, AJ Barner has been better than I thought he would this year. I thought Elijah Arroyo would have taken over by now, but he hasn't been incredible. And then Devon Villay is just kind of a wild card down there. But he
Yeah,
does have
that's nuts.
Browns defense going up against Tennessee. So,
Yeah, for me, I like that. I mean, there's a lot to like here. I do think Voulay is there's nothing to lose for them to just see if they can make that happen again. That was a kind of a wild week they had right there.
uh,
Um, but I think it's interesting on the other side. You've got Clint over here starting both Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet
yeah.
because of some running back bye weeks. And he's not feeling the heat. He's starting his best lineup, but that's the kind of thing that could just end up not really amounting to much and creating a
Hmm.
situation. You got Travis Kelce versus Houston, which they're playing insanely good defense
Yeah.
right now. So. It's really just a matter of how it shakes out. But this one feels like one of the tighter matchups going into it. So you would like to see some movement here. If it turns out the 1 through 6 teams just end up being 1 through 6 at the end of this week, I think personally I would be, a
Little
little.
upset. Yeah.
I mean, we can get into the nitty gritty. I might not be that upset, but yeah, that matchup in particular looks to be interesting because it kind of falls off after that, right? We've got you, doing
Yeah.
great, 5th place, feeling good.
Eh.
Who cares if the 7th and 8th teams have more points for than you? You've got the game. You've got the one game better at 7 and 6.
Yeah.
And here you go, waltzing in playing the last place team,
Hmm.
which I'm not saying that's a cakewalk because it feels like, so you're up against Hookham. It feels like he could just like reach a hand through a
Hmm.
grave and strangle you out here. Um, because he's got kind of his whole squad. Like there's on paper, it's kind of wonky, but there's a bunch of wild cards that could pop here. I don't know. How are you feeling? Your comfort level here?
I'm not super comfortable because not only that, like yeah, like you're talking about, I did get a bit of a break with Dak and Javante not having crazy games. They didn't have bad games, but they didn't meet their projections just by a little bit, so that helped out. But yeah, you got guys like Lad McConkey over there, Dalton Kincaid, Christian Watson, the Broncos defense going up against a Vegas team that's not very good. So
Sure.
Bam Knight looking pretty good last week.
Yeah, no
It,
Benson.
yeah, and Trey Benson's going to be out again, and it's one of these things where his team could fluctuate pretty hard. I'm projected to win now, but I just got hit with the injury, and the bye week bug this week. No Drake London for me. Was hoping that would pull out. Garrett Wilson still in or on IR. I had Ricky Pearsall as a maybe flex play, even though he hasn't been great. He's on bye. Chuba Hubbard's on bye, who just looked good last week, and Travion Henderson's on bye. So I'm rolling out Woody Marks and Aaron Jones. Both were on the injury report. Just both of them got cleared today, so that's good-ish news. But Jones has been a little disappointing. He has a great matchup against Washington, but we'll see who gets the bulk of the carries there. Woody Marks has been fine, broadly fine, to not fine. I mean, 3 weeks in a row of less than 10 points is not ideal, and he's going up against a good Chiefs defense. And Zay Flowers is just an enigma. He's one of my highest
Dude.
projected players. And he just, I don't know. Is he going to score 10 points? Is he going to score point 0.6? I don't know. I did trade for Devonte Adams, who has been absolutely stellar ever since I got him. And Jordan Love has a good matchup against Chicago in terms of pass defense, but I have to roll out Kenneth Gainwell. So I'm looking to make some moves.
Hmm.
Maybe wink, wink, take a guy from the worst team in the league so that he can't play against me
Heyo.
this week. Like, let's see if I can get that done. Maybe overpay for somebody I normally wouldn't. In fact, I might
Ooh.
just adjust that trade right now and see if I can get it.
I'm
Uh,
seeing a couple of bright lights, the guys that I know you're fond of on this opposing squad right now. So, oh
yeah,
my goodness, he's like, yeah, man, he's trolling you with this squad right here.
he
I like
really is.
that.
I tried to get Lad McConkey off him a few times this year. I don't know that I ever really put in enough to get it. I've spent everything. I said fuck them picks for sure. I was
Yeah.
less needing it over here, so I don't have much. But I did. I was able to get Devontae off of him, which is
Oh
the only
yeah, that's
reason I'm
incredible.
still in it, honestly. But no, I'm not feeling amazing. I could see this going either way. I even tried to trade for Javante before the game last night, just so that he wasn't against me, and couldn't get that done either. So. I'm not
Damn,
feeling
dude, you're
great. Even
scrapping.
even I'm trying, man. I just want to make I don't have any picks. There's no incentive for me to not just go all in and try and make the playoffs. But we'll see. We'll see. I've been eking by in some of these games, but if I do make the playoffs and I can
Feeling
get
good.
Travion back and I can get Drake London back and I can get uh Garrett Wilson back. And there is talk that Jaden Reed's going to play this week. So he's another guy I had that was on the injury bug. So I might have to throw him in if he gets cleared. I don't know. But yeah, we will see how it goes. I'm not overly confident, but I'll stop talking about myself.
Well, I 1,000% think that you live and die by Zay Flowers here, man. And
Yeah.
I know that's an emotional roller coaster for you. And
Uh-huh.
I don't envy you necessarily, but it's nice to draw the last place team in a
Mhm.
critical matchup like this. A similar fate
That
is
is
coming.
our rule change paying off for me right there from a couple years ago. I don't know if you remember that.
The toughest schedule
Yeah,
bracketing or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, so one of our rules in this league is that the last, what is it, 4 weeks, 3 weeks of the season, you play the team that were in your quadrant last year in terms of win-loss record or in terms of rank. So like the 12 through 9 teams all play each other, uh, and then so on and so on. And was not good last year, so I got the advantage of playing the weaker side. So
I'll
that's
always
helping
be
me out
right
right
in the
now.
middle, still in the middle.
Fair enough.
No, that is, yeah, that is nice. But you got the points for, you got a little edge against the sixth place team,
Hmm.
who is really like trailing on the points for. They are second to last in the entire league. So they really need to win.
Hmm.
So that's Davey, and he's up against, he's got Tony, and Tony's been eliminated.
Yes, which was
So
crazy. I mean, injuries hit him pretty hard this year, but
absolutely, man. And in this matchup in particular, it is another extremely tight one. He had Amon-Ra St. Brown, did Tony, so that kind of set him up. He hit projections, but it puts him in a position. He's got one of those rough mixed teams right now
hmm.
where high upside and then some wild cards, but he just needs his guys to be serviceable. Meanwhile, on the other side, and like I said, I know you like these matchup breakdowns, so I'll let you get in. But
You're fine.
Davey's got like he's got the steady Eddie, he's got a good team as far
Hmm.
as like the name value. He's had a history of a lot of success, and a lot of those core team players are still on his squad. So if he can just get the high production that they've had historically, he will be okay. But he definitely has to win to stay in the playoff hunt. So.
Yeah, like you're saying, if you were to tell me that the guy that has Lamar Jackson, Saquon Barkley, Travis Etienne, Jalen Waddle, AJ Brown, and Brock Bowers on his squad would be the second lowest scoring team in the league at the
Ouch.
beginning of the year, I would have called you a liar. So, I mean, we've all seen Lamar just isn't himself lately. That's 3 games in a row below 10 points for Lamar God dang Jackson, which is crazy. Saquon Barkley's been a bit of a bust this year. We kind of talked about it last week. I mean, he's still the RB 13 on the year, but that's largely carried off like a huge game against the Giants a few weeks ago. That helped him. The rest of it's kind of been fine. And then AJ Brown is a week to week head case, and the Eagles have the Chargers, who have a good defense. So it'll be intriguing to see what happens with Davey. It would be pretty crazy. The guy, he's been kind of running the league. At least he hasn't won ships in a while, but he's been like top of the league each year, uh, pretty frequently. And it'll be crazy to see him if he doesn't make the playoffs. I do like his matchups, though. I mean, you never know how many times Jalen Hurts is going to get pushed into the end zone. Devon Achane is always uh, a guy that could go off for Tony over there. But then you're looking at like Chris Rodriguez, John Mechie, RJ Harvey, which are all just kind of wild cards. Zach Ertz in there as well. I think this one will be close, but I feel like Dave might edge him out here. But it'd be crazy.
It would be crazy. I mean, if he loses, he's out
Yeah,
flat.
for
It's
sure.
done. And it's wild. So we went through, these are all the playoff contending teams, right? The top
Hmm.
two are in, and then the
Yeah.
next four are all 7 and 6, and none of them play each other.
Yep.
and three of them are playing teams that are out of the playoffs already. And then the fourth one is playing the league champ and has a points buffer. So really lucky for those teams to
Mm,
not have to have like an elimination matchup.
yeah.
But then as you go to the outside looking in, now we're looking at the seventh and eighth place teams. That is myself and
Hmm.
RDR,
Alum.
alum, yeah. RDR washout. We got AJ crooning for Poon. So
Crooning for Poon.
we got to play each other.
Hmm.
6 and 7. We're sitting here with our points for within 1 point of each other. I edge them out by 1.5 points in that department. So
Hmm.
we're looking at a situation where if I would say, yeah, if you or Davey lose and we all score the same amount of points, the winner of this game kicks one of you guys out.
Yeah.
Kicks, let's
Hmm.
just say, kicks Davey out
Yeah.
automatically, and then we're within 15 points of that fourth place team who's playing the number one squad, and so there is a bit of tension here
Hmm.
where the winner has, I would say, a likely chance to advance if you're considering, there's potentially four different teams that could take a loss and underperform within, 10% of the projected scores and then lose their playoff spot to one of these two teams. So
Yeah.
it's going to be crazy. I guess I'll talk about this matchup right now.
Yeah.
It's projected with AJ. He's got a 5 point little bubble over me. He rolled out in the Thursday night game with Goff and Ferguson, who both did near their projections, but didn't do him any favors to pull away.
Hmm.
Um, I'm a little bit frightened. He's got the Chase Brown, the any game could be a banger
Hmm.
type situation. He's got James Cook, who is, just making lightning happen at a moment's notice with nothing in the receiving game for Buffalo.
Hmm.
Nico Collins is kind of having some of those same electric games, and he's flexing Jalen Warren, who I'm scared of, going
Hmm.
in up against him. My only the only thing that gives me any optimism is he's thinking about starting Justin Jefferson, who is an obvious dud. You know what I mean? At this stage in his life, he doesn't scare me for the way
Hmm.
this season is going. So basically, he's got some guys that could just go off. Jefferson could as well easily. He's got it in him to any game, just knock it out of the park. And meanwhile, here I am finally getting some of my players healthy again. I got Burrow, who I'm hoping can. I mean, he's playing well. I've got Bijan, who has got a tough matchup against Seattle, but he can always turn it on. Judkins, I got a lot of faith in him against Tennessee this week. Olave is just getting buried in targets. He's got a questionable tag, but he could make it happen. I'm taking the risk. I'm putting my boy Terry McLaurin out there in the flex. He had a great game last week, and it's a tough matchup, but I trust him more than some of my bench players. And then there's a desperation move here with the Luther Burden. I don't have a ton of depth right now. I have a lot of injuries
Yeah.
this year on some of my older vets that I've been relying on. So there's that. And then you got Goddard. You already mentioned the matchup against the Chargers. That could be tough, but you never know. That dude sometimes gets, 18 points in the first quarter. So you just got to let it roll. But I just think this is neck and neck. It's too close to call. I'm not
Hmm.
feeling comfortable. I don't have the reinforcements, and I'm in a position where I've got people like trying to get players from me to make a push. I got people trying to sell players to me,
Mm.
to give me the bump, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just kind of white knuckle driving this thing down the road, just hoping for the best, which I don't know, win or lose, what is best because we could both, I mean, I could win and still not make the playoffs if you guys all clean house the way you ought to. So
Yeah.
it's getting pretty interesting. I
Yeah.
think it's extremely intense. I've never seen anything this close.
I've never seen this much parity in a league, for sure. Especially not a dynasty league. Usually people can in the league or the year pretty quickly in these types. But yeah, your guys' matchup, I mean, it's as close as you guys are in points for. 1 point difference basically for you guys, 1.5 points. And
Yeah,
it's going to be really interesting, man. I think it'll be a really good matchup. Luther Burden, I know that's a risky play, but with a Dunze being out, they're
that's
going to
true.
need to target somebody. I don't know that he'll like necessarily pop off. He a lot of his game for the Bears so far has been like deeper shots, which the Packers are just not really allowing right now, with the way they structure their defense. But in terms of like PPR, I think Burden could have a good game just due to lack of anybody else being there. And then like Olave has been just consistently solid. You know, not maybe he had the 1 week where he had 3 touchdowns or whatever. Maybe you get one of those out of him with a Tampa Bay defense that's not playing outrageously. But I'm with you. I like Judkins a lot. I'm worried about Bijan having a bit of a downer game. I mean,
Hey, bring it
sheer
on.
volume from him is usually enough to keep him above water. But Seattle is just such a juggernaut. I could see them just smacking Atlanta around. And then you flip it over to AJ. And like you said, he didn't have crazy games from his guys, but he's got really good matchups. Like even Jefferson, okay, yeah,
Hmm.
he's been bad, but he has a great matchup against Washington. So we'll see if he can at least make something happen with old JJ. But James Cook against Seattle or Cincinnati, and then Chase Brown against Buffalo, those are both great matchups for those guys.
Yeah,
Your eyes are going to have to be glued to that Cincinnati Buffalo game. Uh,
for sure.
at 1 p.m. because those guys I think are both going to go off. I could see James Cook having another one of his monster games, and then Jalen Warren down there against Baltimore as well. Like, um, I if I had to choose, I feel like I'd probably put my money on AJ's squad.
Come
Uh,
on.
sorry, man,
No,
but
you're fine.
I do think it's close, for sure, and I think this week is going to be a very intense week. I think.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. I gotta say, you mentioned our league rules where we have kind of like conferences for the end of the season based on how we finish.
Uh-huh.
Another thing we do is we rank our rookie picks off of max points for
Hmm.
teams that don't make the playoffs.
Yep.
So that makes it nice. So you don't tank as you know, it's not as likely to tank. But I do have to say, if I do not get into the playoffs, if I lose to AJ, I'm pretty well slotted for the 1-2.
Nice.
So ask me to flip that coin. Starting optimal lineups have been all year, but I feel like I can't lose this match, Like
Hmm.
if I lose, I win. If I win, I win. So
Oh,
I'm
that's a good
feeling pretty
spot.
good about it. But yeah, just trying to stay optimistic. I guess we can throw in Lance, dude. He's playing Danny. He's
Hmm.
got to beat Danny, and then what does he have to do?
Uh,
Uh,
outscore most of us, but well, he could outscore Clint, but he'd have to outscore you and me and AJ by like he's got a 30 point. Oh, he's only got a 10 point, 13 point-ish
yeah.
trail on me. So if I lose
Oh
and he
no.
outscores me and then Clint loses, he could knock me out as well. So I could drop from 5 to out of the playoffs
Yeah,
fairly
you and
quickly.
don't put no disrespect on Clint's name. You see the name, but that's Davy's team,
Or
dude.
sorry, Dave's team, yeah. But then
That would be nuts, though.
you guys he'd have a pretty hard time catching you. Because he'd have to
Yeah,
outscore you guys by like 40 something points. So
but he'd only have to outscore one of us because,
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be crazy, but yeah, I think there's a chance for the 5-8 or the 8-7 matchup, me and AJ to push a team in. But I don't
Yeah.
think that Canadian's getting in there.
I don't think so
And
either.
I'm feeling pretty good about you too, man. So the only way you get knocked out is
Oh, oh no. I think you dropped out. Or did I drop? Oh, there you
hey, you're
are.
back.
Okay.
But
Sorry about that.
so
The only way I could drop out is,
by Lance, I
oh
think
yeah,
that's it,
by Lance
right?
outscoring me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the only thing. So it's not as volatile as I think we all made it out to be.
I don't know. Yeah,
It's
it
very
is.
close though. Down
Yeah.
the stretch, it got really, I mean, this whole season, there was a point where like 2 through 10 all had the same. We were all like 5 and 7 or
Mm,
whatever. It was
it's
nuts.
it's just been we're all just kind of like one win, one loss, one win, one loss. Like it's been a fun year and for the belt this year. So I guess next week we'll have to let you. Yeah, even when I look at it
Yeah, we'll
now,
recap it.
everybody's win streak. We've got one loss, one win, two wins, one win, four losses, one loss, three loss, and then we're talking about guys that aren't in the playoffs. But it's everybody just back and forth, back and forth.
Oh
But yeah,
yeah,
we
that
will.
4 loss team about to get their fifth loss. AJ,
Yeah, AJ,
you're done.
that's what you get for leaving.
RDR washout. No, I'm just kidding.
But all right, there you have it. That was a fun little experience for us. Hopefully, people that aren't in the league took something from it, but it was a little love letter to For the Belt, I think. But
Big time.
until then, or until next time, we've been Rough Draft Research. You've been the audience, and we'll see you next week.
All right, go my team. Win or lose, we still booze.
I took a lease out on your